This man is intersex, and he comes forward and talks about all the problems intersex people face within society, from doctors, from surgeons, from their family members, and so on and so forth. So on Channel 4, I watched The Secret of Me. Make sure you guys follow me as every single day. I talk about interesting documentaries and news stories that nobody else is talking about. Now, unfortunately, it was a common practice, a common procedure. It still is. But this man was born in the US, and when doctors saw that he had male and female organs, they decided that he needs to live as a female. So his parents and doctors decided what gender he is going to live as. So they decided to get rid of perfectly functioning organs so this minor can live their whole life as a woman. Now, the whole point of this procedure, this has happened to many people, by the way, and it is still happening. Now, the whole point of this procedure, and for this procedure to work, is that you are not allowed to tell this person ever that they were born intersex. They have to live as that gender you have assigned them. And this was backed by a psychologist, very evil psychologist. I forgot his name, do forgive me, but he reiterated the fact that you can be trained to live in a certain gender. These procedures were going on for years and years and years, but there was no evidence that these procedures are successful when it comes to intersex people. However, this psychologist has come forward and said, listen, this is an amazing thing. It works. And the evidence he brought forward is the fact that there was this story called The Boy Who Was Raised as a Girl. You can watch it on Oprah Winfrey. Now, there was one boy, unfortunately, when he was born a boy, he was fine. He had all his organs intact, but he had an accident. This accident meant that he did not have his male organs anymore. I can't go into details because, TikTok. This doctor convinced this minor's parents that this minor has to live as a girl. By the way, they're a twin, an identical twin. You're not allowed to tell this girl that they were born a boy. You're going to give them hormone therapy. If it needs be, they will go through many surgeries so that they can live their life as a woman. Now, this psychologist he wrote a book that said that this is so successful. You can be trained to live in a certain gender. Gender is a social construct, and so on and so forth. This psychologist pushed that this was a successful experiment, and many doctors thought, it is successful. This is evidence. This is enough for more babies to go through this horrible procedure. What this psychologist was not saying is that this boy was ripping off dresses. This boy had many mental health problems. This boy felt like a boy, even though the parents kept telling this boy, you're a girl, you're a girl, you're a girl. They felt like a boy, and unfortunately, in the end, they ended up unaliving themselves. Their parents did tell this boy the truth. Listen, you were born as a boy, but unfortunately you're living as a girl because doctors advised us that this is the best way for you to live. In the end, both twins ended up unaliving themselves. They were born in the 60s. On top of that, the psychologist was a nasty, nasty predator. Things I cannot say on this app. You need to go and watch this documentary. But it's very annoying how the reason why these procedures, or the reason why doctors felt a bit more confident within these procedures, is because this psychologist has written a book that this procedure has been successful, when it's clearly garbage. And doctors don't want to talk to people, to intersex people who know how this procedure has impacted them. But doctors have gone around, medical papers have gone around using this phony psychologist's work. They still use it, even though his work was a sham. And babies continue to go through this procedure because of the psychologist's fake, rubbish medical report. Intersex people came forward and they spoke. They're angry. They're infuriated. Why are you not speaking to us? We're an experiment. You are saying to us that this is a completely fine medical procedure, but come and see, no intersex person is saying this. The man in this documentary, he said that the best thing, he would have wanted his parents and the doctor to have let him just leave the hospital because he was healthy. So why are you getting rid of organs, perfectly fine organs? Because that goes against the philosophy of health. You don't just get rid of perfect organs. Why would you do that? But the doctor's argument was that you would have lived a very hard life if you had gone out and been intersex. Back then, it was very taboo. People didn't understand it. So it was better for us to just choose your gender and you go and live within that gender. Very insightful documentary. The story about the boy who was raised as a girl, you can also see on Oprah Winfrey. It's very, very horrific. I remember that's a story that has always stuck with me. But do make sure you guys go and check out this documentary, because intersex people, I haven't seen a massive documentary on those who are intersex and talking about the way they have been treated by doctors, by their parents, and by society. Because this man as well, sorry to say, he went back to his hometown. He hasn't got really a good relationship with his parents. He went back to his hometown, and one of his uncles basically said to him, what you're doing is wrong. You becoming a man is wrong. But he hasn't become a man. He is intersex. It's completely different. Intersex people would live a better life if society accepted it as just another gender. but they haven't. And this Christian community, of course, in the US where he is from, hasn't neither.